Today we will begin with the session on two legends. One is the legend of Angirasa Rishis, which is very central to the Vedic system of yoga. So that explains what was the yoga the Vedic Rishis were doing. And this provides clues to so many symbolic words, the symbolism of the Veda. The story is very simple. It's called the Angirasa Rishis and the lost cows. The story goes like this. Angirasa Rishis find that their cows are lost. So they invoke Indra by performing yajna, and they are offering Somarasa to Indra. So then Indra becomes pleased and fights or tries to find out where the lost cows are there, and then recovers these lost cows. Then Indra is invoked. Indra becomes powerful, raises his weapon Vajra, and then invokes Sarama. Sarama is a heavenly hound, and Sarama informs the whereabout of the lost cows and informs Indra that it is Dasyu, Pani and Vritra, these three dark forces which have stolen the cows, and they have kept the cows hidden in a cave, dark cave. Then there is a fight. Indra defeats them and recovers the cows for the Angirasa Rishis. This much is the story. The story looks very simple but highly symbolic and very profound, in the sense that here every character, every word that one finds in this legend has to be understood in a very deep manner. The first thing is, who are these Angirasa Rishis? Yesterday we talked a little bit about Agni, derived from the root sound Ag. Ag or Ang. Angati, Agati. The word Angirasa also Angira, Angara. Angara is a burning charcoal. It's called Angara. So they all come from the same root sound. Angirasa Rishis are those Rishis, the aspiring souls, who carry this flame of aspiration in them for finding out the truth, finding out the light, finding out the pure dynamism, finding out for themselves the knowledge, the wisdom, the truth of everything. So they are the truth seekers. Angirasa Rishis are the truth seekers, carrying this flame of aspiration for knowledge, wisdom, light, delight, dynamism, purity, perfection. This is what they keep aspiring for. They are the intense seekers of the truth. Angirasa Rishis, so their main goal of yoga is to keep the cows with them. The cows, the go, they are the go upasaka. The upasana of go. Go is rays of light, the ananda. Amrita, wisdom. All these are referred to by these rays of light. And ultimately, they have to attain to the world of Surya Savitri, Surya Savita. The ultimate aim of Vedic system of yoga is the attainment of the world of sun, Surya Savita. And it is that world of light where there is no shadow. It is a shadowless light, immense light. Or if you compare it, something like what Oppenheimer said, remember the Gita verses on the explosion of thing. Yadi bha sadrushi shyasa divi surya sahasrasya. Thousand suns ablaze at the same time, and no shadow. So that is the world that they aspire to attain to. This is Angirasa Rishis. So there the Go Upasaka means the Upasaka of light. The Upasaka of light, delight, love, knowledge. With complete control over their senses, complete control over their mind, complete control over themselves. They aspire to rise to that world of sun, Angirasa Rishis. And in this legend you find the Rishis, the cows, Pani, Dasyu, Vrutra, the adverse forces. Then you have Sarama, the heavenly hound. Then you have Soma, Somarasa, which is offered to Indra. So then Indra drinks Somarasa and becomes powerful. Then you have the cave, the dark cave, where the cows are hidden. Then you have a fight ensuing between Indra and the Dasyu, Pani and Vritra. Sarma, yes. So the dog is called Sarameya, the dog species. So it comes from Sarma. Sarama. Sarma.
And this Angirasa, are they in the many rishis are called Angirasa?
Many rishis. No, it is a like group soul.
Oh, I got confused with it.
Yeah, it's a group soul, collectively aspiring to rise above.
Angirasa Rishi.
And this shows the collective sadhana. Okay. Together, they all aspire to attain to that. They're always the Angirasa Rishis. Yeah, group soul. So, the cows are the rays of light. Now they are lost on the path of sadhana. There are many occasions when one finds oneself absolutely in the darkness. Even after continuing with intense sadhana for years and years and years, suddenly one day we'll find that all lost. I met someone in the ashram, elderly person, very intense sadhana, expert in life divine, synthesis, essays on the Gita, Savitri, lecturing. But he told me that, Sampadananda, I want to share with you something. Do you think there is any, like use of all this sadhana and all these things? Once you die, matter over. And I am feeling very, very frustrated, even after doing so much of sadhana. So many years of sadhana. And what to say? So I told him the Angirasa Rishi legend. So he said, yeah, that also I know. But nothing convinces me at this point. I am completely broken down. I don't see any hope in sadhana. What use of doing all this sadhana when once you die, matter is over. That's all. So I think the Charvakas were very right. So he was completely got stopped by the Charvaka. Even now also he continues with that. Yeah. So it happens with every sadhak. those who are intensely aspiring to attain to the higher worlds, suddenly something goes wrong. And these are the periods when one has to be very, very careful. One has to increase 100-fold one's own sadhana. Then only the solution will come. And this was the situation which was faced by the Angirasa Rishis. So they invoked Indra. Invoking Indra means diving deep into the world of mind. And then tapping into the realm of the pure divine mind. Why Soma has to be offered to Indra, and that divine mind, the entire realms of mind, they belong to Indra. Indra is the king there. So he has to deal with, he has to rectify all the problems, all the weaknesses, all the shortcomings of the different layers of mind. And if you contemplate, and Sri Aurobindo has very elaborately explained the different layers of mind, starting from the most physical mind to the vital mind, the proper mind, the sense mind, thinking mind, reasoning mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, over mind, super mind, so many layers of mind. We just are happy with our normal mind. Yes. The physical mind is maximum number of people live in the physical mind, in the mechanical, habitual thoughts. Everything superficial, mechanical, not getting into little bit of the depth of mind. Rational mind, reasoning mind. No, it is about that. Physical mind is very mechanical and then the outer. It has all the gunas of the physical consciousness. Like if the physical has inertia as its guna, the physical mind will support that inertia, lethargy, mechanical. Like if you want to test who is in physical mind, ask a person, okay, can you give me a cloth? I want to clean Sri Aurobindo's photo. So that person in physical mind will pick up the cloth which is nearby the hand, will not apply the mind. It has to be, like Sri Aurobindo's photo has to be cleaned and then I have to pick up the right cloth. No. Whatever you see, like whatever in front, easily available, it operates in a very mechanical manner. Very mechanical. Ask a glass of water, whatever glass is there, put the water and then give it to him. No cleaning, nothing. Thinking if there is something also, it doesn't care for it. You say, you ask water, I have given you water, that's all. So, physical mind is absolutely on the surface level and functions in a mechanical way and allows all kinds of mechanical thoughts, habitual thoughts, supports inertia, lethargy, all kinds of tamas. Most of the times feels itself in darkness. So you go to the vital mind, again it has got all the vital nature. Like supporting the ambition, unnecessary passion, unnecessary dynamism, egoistic nature that I can only do, feeling oneself as indispensable or without me nothing can happen, supports this kind of thoughts. And mental proper mind is, that a thought mind, more involved in the thought, better than the physical and vital. Then you have the reasoning mind, who puts everything into logical reasoning. Go to illumined mind, the Ghritachi Dhi, which they aspire. But above that, once the illumined Dhi is attained to, the illumined state of mind, the enlightened mind, it is there, then it opens doors for the higher realms like intuitive, over mind and super mind. It goes on. But the sadhana mind is extremely important sadhana. Then different faculties, different components or other things connected with mind, like mind's power we have to take. Like it has the power to concentrate. So concentration, memory, observation, imagination, all these different powers have to be refined. We have to have concentration, but perfect concentration. We have to have memory, a perfect memory. We have to have imagination, perfect, refined imagination. Not, like a hallucination or some illusory imagination. So we have to have the power of observation of the mind. So everything has to be perfect and they have to be developed. It's grahana, dharana, smarana, samarthya, all these belonging to mind have to be perfected. So, if one wants to work on mind, much ananda has to be infused into the realm of the mind. Without ananda, the mind cannot be creative. But that creativity, like a frustrated mind also can create something. Like many people write poetry out of frustration, draw something out of frustration. But that doesn't, give that kind of creative ananda. It will not have impact. It will not have impact. But at those moments of darkness and frustration, dejection, if one can detach oneself from that and then contemplate on the creative side, the ananda side, then one becomes forced to be creative. Because one has detached oneself and then turning, like the Pratipaksha Bhavana one is doing. And that piece of artwork or the poetry or anything that one creates, again has a lot of impact on oneself, on the other. So ananda has to be infused, instilled, invoked. So that's why Soma is not like as it is interpreted that it's the divine wine, Somarasa. So it is, what is the divine wine? It is that supreme delight. When the mind is infused with the delight, the divine delight, that mind is more powerful. And once one has a powerful mind, so one attains to that Akshaya Amrita and so Akshaya Amrita, non-perishing or imperishable Amrita. Once attained, it cannot be destroyed. Okay, it's Akshaya. One continues with that inexhaustible Amrita, Ananda.
It's quite confusing. Some of the slokas, the rishis that are praying and saying Indra, you please come and have Soma with us. So, how do you interpret that already that Ananda is with the rishis?
Yeah, they are offering, see, you be with us because we want your presence in us. And Soma is offered, you drink the Soma with us. So you become one with us. They don't separate themselves from Indra. They invoke the presence of the Indra and they want to become one with the Indra. And then Indra drinking Soma is equivalent to they drinking Soma.
Indra is, you said now that Indra is representing the mind on various levels.
Yeah, various in realm of mind is the realm of Indra.
So is it that the delight is occupying the mind?
Yes, the delight, the mind, every realm of mind has to be with delight. Okay. So that is the Soma. So you have Angirasa Rishis, you have the Go, then you have Soma. Now, after drinking Soma, Indra becomes very, very powerful. Raises his weapon, but first invokes Sarama. So who is Sarama? The heavenly hound. The dog. Sarama. Now Sarama psychologically is the power of intuition. The intuitive mind or intuition knows the whereabout of the truth and can inform about the truth, but has no power to fight against anything or cannot do anything. Is the agent. So when Sarama is invoked, and that's exactly is the nature of intuitive mind. Something is informed, flashed. But then one has to work out. Once that flash takes place, once that intuitive inspiration descends, so one has to work out that. Something, like comes, a beautiful idea flashes. But the idea itself has to be worked out, actualized. Now, Sarama is invoked by Indra. Sarama comes and then goes, finds out that the cows are hidden in a cave, dark cave, and cows are stolen by Panis, Dasyus and Vritras. Pani, 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 Dasyu and Vritra. These are the three major dark forces in the Vedic system of yoga. And these are not some, enemies lying outside or living outside. They are part of the human consciousness itself. So who are these Panis, Dasyus and Vritras? And Sarama informs Indra about that. Till then it is not known who are the culprits, who have stolen the cows. Now let's look at who is Pani and what connection it has with the human consciousness.
One question, you're saying cows, but Goho means way of life, and it also means cows, but why do you keep saying cows? Okay, we can directly say way of life.
Yeah, we can say, but I'm linking it with the original legend, the outer form of it, that these are stolen, cows are stolen. Go, yes. Yeah, when we are interpreting, we can also say cow, which symbolizes the rays of light. Cow is the symbol of ray of light. Taking cow as a symbol, not the exact meaning, the surface meaning of cow.
Why is light given so much prominence, like illumines mind?
Yeah, that only refines, brings the refinement, that only brings the perfection. The darkness, which is opposite, it brings all kinds of negative elements. Light only can bring anything which is positive. So if you need to burn something, you need Agni. Jnanagni dagdha karmani. So knowledge is also seen as a fire. That alone has the power to destroy all kinds of sanskaras, wrong sanskaras, that which binds us. All the deeds which binds us, the bondage of karma, can be destroyed only by the fire of knowledge. So knowledge is a fire which has the power to burn anything. It's Agni which can make things siddha. The anna can become siddha only when it is put onto the fire. So that alone, the flame, the fire, the light alone has the power to make things perfect, make things proper, refined, perfect. Otherwise, everything is in an imperfect state, impure state. So that's why Agni, most of the devatas, the epithet which is used in the Veda is Puta Daksha, Puta. They purify. Agni can purify. Agni can dispel the darkness. So the solution that the Vedic Rishis found out, that there is, if we can find out the light and then hold it within ourselves, then there is a permanent solution to all our problems. That's why they aspired for light. They aspired for light, and Mother has given a very beautiful description of it. He says that when evening comes, the entire plant kingdom becomes silent. And what do they do in silence? He said it is the prayer of the plant kingdom. They silently aspire for the day, aspire for the light to come. And when the day dawns, they again become fresh. Because they draw all their energy, their life energy from the light. When that darkness, they become silent. And silently they make the prayer. It is not just the silence of the plant kingdom, but it is a meditative prayer of the plant kingdom aspiring for the light. So, let's look at Pani and its connection with the human consciousness, our psychology, psychological state. So, Pani comes from the root sound Pan. Pan means to calculate, to bargain. So that's why you have Panam. Panam means money. Okay. Any transaction, marketplace is called, the things, the objects for selling and buying are called Panya Vastu. Panyam, that which has to be bought. Yes. Yes. Trade.
Shops are panna.
Pana, apana is shop. Vipani is the market. Okay. Panam. Then Panam is the calculation transaction.
And our hands are called pani. Because it is wrong.
Our
hands are called
Pani. So, Pana, by default, the human consciousness has this transactional bargaining nature. Okay. For everything we bargain. We don't hesitate even to bargain with God. You know the story, the many stories of that kind. You know, like someone climbs a tree, then finds it difficult to come down. Then he says, God, please help me, I'll give you 1 rupee prasad. Then he comes down half the way, he said, what did God do? I only had to make so much of effort. I was praying, God didn't listen. Why should I give 1 rupee? I'll give 50 paisa. By the time he came down, he forgot to. He said, no, God doesn't deserve anything to be given. I only put all my effort. So we are very transactional. For everything we bargain. How much? 20 rupees, right? Take 15 rupees. With everything we bargain. Bargaining, transactional is the very natural part of our consciousness. That's Pani. Pani bargains everything. And also steals things. The bargaining itself is stealing. Because you want to keep a portion for yourself. Do not want to give full thing. The same thing happened with Vajasravas. When Vajasrava was doing this Vishwajit Yajna, he wanted to keep something, the beautiful, most good things for himself. That's Pani. So, somewhere Pani is present or predominant in the consciousness. So, one wants to keep hidden, secret, something good for oneself. Doesn't want to give away the full thing.
Something like Swartha.
Yeah, Swartha.
Preventing the logic of the mind or rational mind prevents us from realizing the go or the ananda because of its.
Yeah, you can say that. So the point is like we don't want to give full thing and to keep something for ourselves. A portion has to be kept and no one else should know about it, how much I am keeping, the Pani. And we keep bargaining about everything. The calculative mind keeps calculation. Today, like in the Gita, you have that today I have this much, tomorrow I will have this much. So this calculation, all the times calculating, looking at the bank books and like how much when LIC is getting matured, when this mutual fund is getting matured, this all calculation. That's funny. It always wants to keep something and the best things for oneself. All other things one can discard. Many people feel happy by giving away their useless, unnecessary things. I feel happy that I have done dana.
This entire financial world and the bankers are funny.
And most of the times, like we go to the market for gift, but it's gift purpose. So show me something reasonable. Something. Yes, funny.
So, is it related also to the what we speak in Mishra? Then any karma you do, you always want some profit, something return. Is it that also? No,
That is why Krishna says that don't think about the consequences.
Yeah, this one also that you
When the driving force of our action becomes some result, some benefit, that also is a pani. So these panis are, when they are powerful in the consciousness, they always try to hide things from us, steal things from the most beautiful things, light, knowledge, wisdom. They want to, transact with that and hide that. So then one doesn't get into that kind of thing. Because if there is light, they cannot exercise their power. In the presence of light, darkness has no role to play. So that's why the fight is constant. The opposition is constant. They don't want the positive things or the divine things to take place. Then you have the Vrutras. Then Vrutras are again things which always keep hiding. See the very practical example that you take, like you have the pen on your pocket, you are still searching. These are occult forces which, seeing you don't see. They put you in moha. They hide things from you. Always hide things from you. The most important thing is hidden. So Vrutras are those parts of our consciousness which darken our consciousness, which put a veil. So then we don't see the reality. They cloud our consciousness, create more confusion, more obscurity they bring to the consciousness. And the obscure consciousness, the clouded consciousness, will have all kinds of confusion. Cannot see the truth. Then dasyu. Das means to kill. So when someone gets into auto dejection, so for example like Arjuna, take the kind of vishada that he had. So he says that the word which is used in the Gita is kasmala. Kasmala. Where from this killing impurity, destructive impurity which is kas means to kill, mala. So where from this destructive impurity which has entered into your being, which has killed your spirit. Arjuna is completely collapsed. His spirit, Kshatriya spirit, is completely demolished. He doesn't have the strength to get up and then raise his weapon. And the greatest of the hero warriors. That's dasyu. It kills the spirit. It kills everything beautiful within us. Dasyu. Yes. Yeah. Dasyu. Das. Risha Dasam. You have another epithet of Varuna and Mitra. That those who are the killer of enemies. Okay. So these three dark forces, Pani, Dasyu and Vritra, they always try to kill, hide, keep a portion of the beautiful thing with them. And where do they keep those hidden? The dark cave. So if Pani, Dasyu, Vritra, all three together or either of these are powerful in the consciousness, then one enters into a state of darkness, inconscience. So always the hidden, the place where the cows were hidden is called the cave of darkness, the cave of inconscience. So they drag us to that nether world of darkness, utter inconscience. It becomes difficult to even imagine where are the things. Asurya Loka. Asurya. The sunless, the world of sunless, without sun, without light. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavrata pratyabhigachanti yeke chatma hanojana. The self-killing, when the spirit is gone, killed by the dust, very difficult to come out of that. I just gave you that example of the elderly sadhak, gone completely. So, Indra has to be made powerful. Now, the recovery happens, Indra goes and then fights against this Dasyu, Vritra and Pani, recovers the lost cows and then gives them back to the Angirasa Rishis. Then they feel happy and then move ahead on the path of sadhana. This is what is the symbolism behind the legend of Angirasa, Rishis and the lost cows. And this is very, very central to the Vedic system of yoga. So when we say the Rishis were pursuing a certain system of yoga, this was the system of yoga which they followed. And that has been translated so beautifully into the system of integral yoga, where there is no rejection of the world, where there is acceptance. The Angirasa Rishis never ran away from the world. They wanted to live in the world. Being in this world, mundane world, going through all kinds of experiences, they wanted to achieve the perfection. They wanted to hold on to the light, hold on to the Srat. So, the three things which were necessary, that also like one finds in the Veda, and that's why I said like the mother, the book, that small book you read, very clearly in the beginning, it is mentioned about the three important things of sadhana: aspiration, rejection and surrender. One must aspire for, like the Angirasa Rishi. Aspiration has to be intense, pure, very strong and persistent aspiration. One should not deviate from the aspiration, whatever the situation may be. And rejection of all that opposes the establishment of dharma, light, all that is opposed to, like Pani, Dasyu, Vritra, everything has to be rejected. Anything that creates an obstacle on the path has to be rejected. And if the aspiration is strong, like a strong aspiration is like an arrow thrown out of the bow. It will reach its goal, and anyone tries to stop it on the way will be smashed, destroyed. That is how the aspiration has to be, and that is very beautifully described in Mundaka Upanishad, where it says, Pranavo Dhanu. Pranava, the Omkara, or the Supreme Reality, who manifests itself in new forms every moment. That is the Dhanu. Pranavo Dhanu. So that is represented by the Omkara. This is about again Omkara sadhana. And Om has that power. So Om, make Om as your Dhanu. Sharohi Atma. So Atman is the Shara. Shara means the arrow. So fix yourself in the bow of Om. Pranavo Dhanu, Sarohi Atma, and what is the target? Brahmata Laksha Muchyate. Brahman is the Laksham. Brahmata Laksha Muchyate. Brahman is the Laksham, the target. And Brahman is that all expansion, that supreme world of light, where there is only unity, oneness, equanimity, light, no shadow. It's full of ananda, full of pure awareness, full of pure sat. That is Brahman. Brahmata Laksha Muchyate. Then he says, Apramattena Vedhavyam. This apramattata. So, shoot it with full concentration, no deviation. Saravat tanmayo bhavet. And be penetrated with the target like the Sara, like the arrow, goes and becomes one with the target. Saravat tanmayo bhavet. That is the kind of aspiration which is demanded of the sadhak. Saravat tanmayo bhavet. Intense aspiration. And rejection also with that intensity of anything which creates obstacle or which could create a hindrance.
Evoking Indra, Indra using Vajra, that means say that the intensity of the obstacles is so much.
The Vajra only, yes,
It
later.
is beyond Angirasa Rishi to handle it. So you have to invoke the divine
Yes,
to solve your
absolutely. Aspire. So it is not again like for the common people, and we all are common people. So we keep aspiring, knowing that if we intensify our aspiration, so we can achieve the result. So the knowledge is there, but to actualize the knowledge is our work. The task is that. Nothing will happen. So divinity, the divine power alone, like Indra represents the divine mind. With a normal mind, one cannot do anything. One may think like Agastya, you will be hit by Indra again, thrown away completely. One cannot attain to the target by the normal mind, however powerful one may be. There are many powerful intellectuals, mind is superb mind, but they couldn't achieve much because the lack of the divinity in that. So see how powerful the other side is, intellectually, the mind, but they do not link everything with the divinity. Because again the divine power infused into them, it's easy to transform those. Because it's already powerful. But that is where the main obstruction. There is a fear in them that, like this one simple thing, Ram, can create a problem. Destroy all their efforts. So they don't allow that. That's where the Satru, the Pani, the Shiv, Vrutra become one. 3 in 1. Together they fight. So that's what is the Angirasa Rishi legend.
Angirasa is like going from me to the human mind. This is like symbolic of mind.
See, when Indra becomes powerful, Indra brings that illumination to the Dhi. One lacks illumination, one lacks light, and when one feels that there is no light, then one invokes Indra to enlighten the mind. And with that enlightened Dhi, one can achieve anything. Like enlightened Dhi alone has the entry into the world of intuition. This is where Sarama comes to the help of Indra. And most of the times, like you have many people, many organizations are conducting workshops on intuition, how to develop intuitive mind. It's a kind of illusion, you can say. The world of intuition is not that easy. They feel that okay, something new appearing in the mind is intuition. No, it's not. From the spiritual point of view, it is not intuition. So you attend one workshop, and then after the workshop you will have intuitive mind.
Yes.
You will understand intuition. Many people do.
Intuitive mind stage once.
Yeah.
So next was to join
Yeah.
stage 2.
Intuition is always the hallucinations are misinterpreted. We misinterpret our hallucinations also as intuition sometimes. In one of the question answers, like we see something and we think it is intuition and it may be hallucination.
Someone said intuition is, like you don't have to go to a tuition center. So we will come your home and then do intuition.
This is a good joke.
Okay.
No, but how to distinguish between, because there are children's questions with hallucination and intuition.
The hallucination is not going to lead anywhere.
That is what people always like. Some people get it. Often happens that we see, like you told that story of your house. It's not an intuition. It was some hallucination. Where somebody doing that like that.
This is the story, right? Without Sama, Indra is not able to reach.
No, not at all.
So he is the key player in this story.
Yes.
So his intuition is something that is cultivated from within, or is it divine from above?
No, divine intervention is necessary for developing the power of intuition. One has to connect with the divine power. One has to connect with the divinity within. Without that, intuition will not be developed. If you cancel the divine presence within oneself and then talk about intuition, it's not possible.
In the hierarchy of these consciousnesses, this intuitive mind comes later than illumined mind.
Yes, it is just below the over mind.
Below over. So that means unless you are illumined, you have the Jnana Agni. You cannot.
No, intuition cannot happen. That's why illumined mind, Indra has to be invoked. Okay.
What about the common people?
The common people have to turn themselves to the Angirasa. Like all those who have carried or carrying this flame of aspiration are the Angirasa Rishis. So the message, the call is to aspire for. And if all those who do not aspire for, they can never get it. So they remain like Pashu. Yes, aspiration has to be there. Aspiring mind, the seekers, you can say, the intense seekers. The seekers carrying intense flame of aspiration in them. So aspiration, and at the same time the rejection has to be alongside. Rejection of all that opposes, all that creates hindrances. Okay. And then surrender. Surrender means like, surrender also has to have, like how the mother has explained the word surrender. It has 3 stages. It begins with surrender, then self-giving, then consecration. Surrender is a strong will to hand over all our responsibilities to the divine. That one takes a sankalpa that all my problems, everything that belongs to me, that happens with me, I hand over this to the divine. This will this sankalpa of handing over all responsibilities to the divine is surrender. Then self-giving is, once this sankalpa is taken, then to organize life's activities around that will, around that sankalpa. Like whether I eat, I sleep, I move, I talk, I read, I do my sadhana, whatever I do, I have to remember that I have taken a sankalpa, that I have handed over everything to the divine. So then every act of mine must be referred to the divine. Like, that story of Ashtavakra. So, Ashtavakra, like he has 8 deformities in the body. So, he once went to see what's happening in Janak's court. Because Janak used to organize huge conferences of the Brahmajnanis. Okay. And now, when Ashtavakra went, there was a roar of laughter in the sabha. So Ashtavakra understood why people are laughing, because his very appearance can make anyone laugh, the way he moves. So he also started roaring with laughter, louder than the sabha. And then everything became quiet. Then Janak came down. He said, I can understand why others are laughing, but why do you laugh? So he said, simple. I was under the impression that it is the sabha of Brahmajnanis, but after coming here I found all chamars sitting here. Chamar means the cobblers, those who test and then look at the skin, the outer form of it. So that makes me laugh. It's not a sabha of Brahmajnanis, it's a sabha of chamar sitting. Then Janak understood that, he is worth being my guru. So he said, can you accept me as your disciple? He said, yes, but on one condition. He said, any condition, I agree to it. His condition is, you have to give completely your mind to me. So he removed his crown and then placed it at the feet of Ashtavakra. He said, I offer my mind to you. Then Ashtavakra said, do you know what does it mean? That from this moment, you have no right to think. If a thought arises in your mind, that has to be my thought. This is what is manmana bhava. When Krishna says, become my-minded, the mind has to be given in such a manner that we do not have the right to think. The very thought has to be the thought of Krishna. Then one becomes a pure channel through which the divine energy flows. Pure channel like a flute, completely empty. So then Krishna can play the melody. That's manmana bhava. Yes, tadakhilam. No. Japo jalpah shilpam sakalam api mudra virajanam gadih pradhakshinyam kramanam ashanadya huti vidhi pranamah samvesha sukham akhila atmarpane panadrsha yat karma karomi tattadakhilam sambho tavaradhanam. So whatever I do, when I sleep, it's not sleeping. It's also yoga. Like Sri Aurobindo says that your sadhana can continue while you are sleeping. But the sleeping is not just, I am just, like in sleep. But I am very, very conscious. I am prostrated at your feet. With this bhava one sleeps. The entire period of sleep is offered to the divine. So that is what is self-giving. That organizing every aspect of life and offering every aspect of life to the divine, because the sankalpa is taken. That is self-giving. And when self-giving, one is persistently doing the self-giving, it culminates in consecration. That one's life, entire life, becomes a consecrated life. That is what is surrender, samarpana. So, aspiration, rejection, surrender. You can see reading Sri Aurobindo, therefore the entire interpretation of the Veda, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Veda, Vedanta, Tantra, everything you will find in Sri Aurobindo. Very detailed interpretation of it. And if
Surrender, consecration.
self-giving.
So how was someone
Consciously, you have to, first is sankalpa, that I hand over all my responsibility to the divine. Then I don't have to have nakinchidapi chintayet. You don't have to worry about everything. When God is there, He will take care. My Guru is there, my God is there. Why should I worry? Good or bad, it's happening. Then everything has to be referred to the divine. Even I breathe, it's offered. I eat, it is offered. I sleep, it is offered. I do whatever I do, physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, everything has to be offered to or referred to the divine. That divine touch has to be the main thing in life. Then one lives a consecrated life, consecrated entirely to the divine. That's what is Purna Yoga.
Remember and offer.
Yes. Remember and offer. Constant remembrance. Satat smaranshilata.
Make your daily life a pilgrim.
Make your daily life a pilgrim. So, okay, let's very quickly deal with Urvashi. Why Urvashi? Because the Puranic legends. Now see, most of the, this is what Sri Aurobindo has interpreted or written about. Most of the Puranic legends, the sense that one finds in the Puranas of the legends, of the stories, of the characters, of the events. Now many interpreters, they see through the Puranic lens the Vedic legends, which this is where the ritualistic interpretation of the Veda based on the Puranic lens has done a great harm to the Veda. Rather, the Puranic legends have to be seen through the lens of the Veda. So, the Pururava Urvashi Upakhyan, and Urvashi is seen as a celestial nymph, a Swargiya Apsara. Why it is called Apsara? You have heard the word Apsara, right? Urvashi, Rambha, Menaka, they were the great Apsaras. Apsara. Apsara means, up means water. Water. They can move through the water, through the space, through the clouds. So that's why Apsara. Sarati means to move. Apa is water, Apsara. So whether it is groundwater or heavenly water, so they move through that. That's how. Not Sura. Celestial nymph. Nymph. So, Urvashi was the most beautiful Apsara who was, in the Puranas you find her dancing in the Indra Sabha. Indra Sabha. And what is this Indra Sabha? If you look at from the Vedic point of view, and then there is another story of she has this Pururava Urvashi Upakhyan is there in the Veda itself. So there is a whole sukta dedicated to Pururava. It's a colloquial between Pururava and Urvashi. but not much dealt by many Vedic interpreters, and you don't hear about it much. So where Urvashi marries to Pururava, has a son, and then rejects Pururava, that you have no right to come close to me. That's where you will find the Vedic legend of Urvashi and Pururava. And who is this Urvashi? Who is Pururava? And then why is he rejected even after begetting a child? And then in the Indra Sabha, you will find Urvashi, the most beautiful Apsara, alluring everyone by her beauty. And then everyone, aspires to get Urvashi in life. So here, Urvashi, etymologically, and this is the beauty of Sri Aurobindo's new science of language. And the traditional interpretation also, aligns with this. The word Urvashi in the Veda is not used in the prominent places for a person. It is not a proper noun. It's an epithet. Okay. Like you have the word Samskrita. Samskrita is not a proper noun. It's not the name of the language. It's an epithet of the language. Refined. It expresses the nature of that language, not the very name of the language. So the same way, Urvashi is not the name of a person. Uru is the base word. The root sound is ash. Ash means ashnati, to enjoy, to eat. To enjoy or eat what? Like the most surface mind, the surface meaning is that Uru is the thigh. He said that you put that person on your thigh and enjoy. That's also another kind of interpretation which is given. Very commonly. Here Uru means vast. Uru means vast. Uru. That's why Prithvi is called Urvi, because of his vast stretch of expansion. So Uru, Ash, enjoying the vastness, the largeness, the expanded consciousness, is Urvashi. But how this enjoyment can happen? How one can enjoy? Enjoying the vastness or enjoyment of the vast consciousness. And remember again, the Vedanta, the Upanishads, bring much clarity to the Vedic symbolism. Urvashi, it says the enjoyment of the vastness. But what is vastness? Then Chandogya Upanishad says, Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Bhuma. So anything which is vast is the real happiness. The true Ananda, true Amrita, is synonymous with vastness. Relatively, in a narrow state of consciousness, one can never be happy. All that we complain, that it is painful, I am unhappy, or I am very sad, this is a result of the narrowness of consciousness. This narrow state of consciousness is the root cause of every human crisis. Mental, psychological, emotional crisis, the narrow state of consciousness. And this is where the Gita begins. The Gita makes this as the premise, like why Arjuna is into Vishada. This is the narrow state of consciousness. All our frustration, depression, dejection, the deplorable condition, it results out of that narrow state, mean state of consciousness. That's why the mother has given a very beautiful technique of getting rid of frustration, dejection. She says the moment you find you are affected by frustration, don't confine yourself to the room. But the very nature of frustrated people, dejected people, is leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anyone. Please. I don't want. Just leave me alone. Do not want to come out of that corner, that small pillow. Okay. So the mother says that no. The moment you are affected by frustration, run out. Go to an empty space. Lie down. Look at the sky. Feel the vastness of the sky. And you see within few moments your frustration will disappear. So it is the narrowness of consciousness which is described in the Gita by Arjuna or through Arjuna when he says Karpanya doshopahata svabhava. It is the Karpanya dosha. That Karpanya dosha is the narrow state of consciousness. Karpanya dosha is the dosha of a miser, Kripana. The miser is always, shrinking, lives in a very contracted and shrunken consciousness. Doesn't want to open, give. The closed consciousness, narrow consciousness, that is what is Karpanya dosha. And once one is affected by that, he said dharma sammudha cheta. The entire consciousness becomes sammudha. It doesn't see the reality. Doesn't discriminate between dharma, adharma, karma, akarma, vikarma, kukarma, nishkarma. Doesn't know anything. So, and what is the way out? Mam tvam prapannam. Surrender. Sadhi, correct me. That can be rectified, that dosha can be rectified, can be corrected only by complete surrender to the divine. Without that, nothing. Mam tvam prapannam. I have fallen at your feet. I plead you, correct me. This is the problem. So, Pururava, who had chosen Urvashi or who was chosen by Urvashi, now has fallen into that state of narrowness and aspires only for the mundane happiness from Urvashi. This is where Urvashi refuses, that you do not deserve to have me because you have fallen into the trap of all kinds of mundane desires. Urvashi belongs to him who has overcome all kinds of mundane desires, who doesn't live in. Then she says that you can get me only after dying. Dying means like you have to die to your mundane states. Huh? Yeah, anything, like she is the most beautiful. That, say for example, like we say that there is something which is the divine Ananda. There's something like Soma. And once you get into Soma, my God, it's a very different state. So it is also seducing you. That what is this Soma? I need to drink it. The same way Urvashi is that enjoyment of the vastness, enjoyment of the true Ananda, true Amrita. And that alone, when that enjoyment can happen in Bruhad Dyo. Look at the expressions in the Veda. Bruhad Dyo, the higher heaven, where Indra is the king. That's why Urvashi is there in the Indra Sabha, in that illumined world. So she says that when you die to the mundane desires and everything and attain to the state of Bruhadyo, there you will find me. There you will find me.
Indra represents the illumined mind. So reaching that illumined mind, you
Is the Bruhadyo. See, this is again described as the Swarga, the world of light. The mind, the pure mind belongs to that. So that's where, like if you look at the different layers of existence, you have the Prithvi Loka, Antariksha Loka and Swarga Loka. At the cosmic level, at the universal level, at the individual level, that becomes the physical, vital and mental. So Swarga is the cosmic mind, the world of cosmic mind, the world of light, the Swarga. Okay. The illumined state of the mind.
There we realize
Yes.
we get the joy of Urvashi.
Yes.
So much.
Urvashi. Now Urvashi, therefore, in the Veda, married to Pururavas, meaning that she tries to bring that kind of happiness and joy to the person. And it happens with everyone. Like there is a divine intervention and then we do experience some kind of happiness and joy in its pure state. But we do not deserve, because we translate that happiness in terms of mundane fulfillment of desire.
Would it be etymology of Purura?
Pururavas, Rava word is again the sound. Okay. Pururavas will be like making too much sound. Pururavas. Rava.
Chaotic sound.
Yeah.
Desire.
Chaos. So that's why when we turn to the Veda, even that Vrihadyo is compared to Ritam. Compared to Ritam, again another important word of the Veda. So the idea which I wanted to share through these two legends, small legends, is that when we are approaching the Veda, when we are studying the Veda, every word has to be understood there in their symbolic form, and that symbolism is lost. The same symbolic words have taken a different turn in the later Puranas and Itihasas, because it is difficult to crack into. For the common people, it has been translated in a way which will appeal to the common mind. But one should not remain stuck with that. One has to go beyond and then find out the original meaning or original symbolism. Original symbolism. That's how the secret of the Veda can be recovered. So there are legends like Yami Samvada, Agastya Indra Samvada, this Pururava Urvashi Samvada, and you have the Angirasa Rishis Upakhana. So this way the Vedic legends, which are the source of many of the stories that you find in the later epics, the Puranas and Itihasas. In fact, there is a beautiful verse in the Gita where Krishna says to Arjuna that why do you think that you are fighting, you are going to kill? Because this is what is creating problem in you, no? Because you think that you are going to kill. He said, look, I have already completed the story. The matter for me, there is the Duryodhan, this entire war has taken place. You just come on the stage and enact. Enact. Do this drama, matter over. The story is over, long time. See what happens. All the stories, everything that we find in life, in the stage of idea, it has already taken place somewhere in a manner, in a subtle manner. And it takes time for the manifestation of it in a physical form. That's why, Vasishtha Ganapati Muni, the volume 9 out of 12 volumes, it contains the text called Bharat Charitra Mimamsa. So he takes 200 mantras of Rig Veda and interprets those 200 mantras afresh in order to show the storyline of the Mahabharata, the characters and events of the Mahabharata in the Veda. So if you have a Krishna, if you have Arjuna, you have Duryodhana, you have Draupadi, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira, so Karna, you have the mapping of these characters in the Veda. So it's not a story which has happened at a particular time. That's why, like historicity, Sri Aurobindo says, is not going to help much. Now, much research many people do, putting a timeline of the Mahabharata belongs to this date, Puranas belong to this date, Gita happened on this date. Once someone stopped me in the ashram, says, let's say you have done so much work on the Gita, can you tell me one thing? When exactly, at what time of the day, Krishna spoke to Arjuna? Was it 9 a.m., 10 a.m.? I said, but what will you do with that? He said, I was thinking, I got this idea that if we can find out that time, suppose 10 to 12. So every day 10 to 12 I will read Gita. Okay. So that also is a possibility people are exploring. So why historicity will not work in this case? Because the stories here do not belong to a particular time frame. It's kalatita. It has already happened. Krishna says that I have already completed the story. So you have to do it because this story has already taken place in a subtle form. Same happens with the physical form also. Huh? So every age you will have all these characters and all these events. Okay. Yeah. Bharata Charitra Mimamsa. Bharata. Yes. Yes. The same thing happens here also, like Ayurveda says, like suddenly you discover that there is a disease. You say that what happened to me? Everything was going on good and suddenly I find that I am diseased. But the disease has not taken place overnight. Adhi, it becomes Vyadhi. Adhi becomes Vyadhi. And what is Adhi? The moment one allows a negative vibration in oneself. So you create one Adhi there. It first takes form in the mental, psychological, emotional state. And yes, mental agony. Dha. Yes, Adhi becomes Vyadhi. The physical manifestation of that, which takes much time. Say for example, like someone is affected by a cancer. It's not that it has happened overnight, suddenly. So many things which, when it has taken place much before, at a different level.
What does Adhi?
Adhi means a disease which has taken place at the mental level. Adhi. Vyadhi.
Kind of distortion in the mind.
Yes, distortion of the mind. See what happened, there is a beautiful verse in Yoga Vasishtha which explains the whole technique, whole process. He said, Chitta Vidhurata is the cause of all diseases. He said, Chitte Vidhurite Sati. So the moment there is a disturbance or turbulence in the Chitta, it immediately affects the rhythmic flow of prana in the body. And once the rhythmic flow of the prana is disturbed, so the nerve channels through which the pranic energy flows either becomes very constricted, flattened or swollen because it's disturbed. What will happen we don't know. Some may swollen, some may get flattened. So then the blood circulation gets affected, the breathing pattern gets affected, and that will affect immediately the digestive system. Because much depends upon our digestive system. Like someone had written that out of 190 diseases are connected with the digestive system. So you have to keep your digestive system proper. But it comes from the mind. So now, you see, once the digestive system, the rhythmic flow of prana is disturbed, the nerve channels are flattened, and the proper flow of energy, blood circulation, breathing doesn't happen, digestive system getting affected, ajirnatvam, kujirnatvam, atijirnatvam. Either a bad digestion or indigestion or excessive digestion. These are the three problems at the digestive. So then the proper flushing out of the unnecessary food stuff doesn't happen. It remains inside. That food remnants inside, it creates all kinds of problems moving ahead. So evam, then it says evam adhe vyadhir bhavati. So starting from Adi, then the Vyadhi takes place.
We can say psychic, psychosomatic and somatic.
Okay.
I'll say about ulcer. The tension and irritability will be there. The due course, the becomes also there will be effect. The personality will change. Ultimately, Pakar. So Adi stage, yoga and this will help. Later on, you have to medicine and surgery.
Yeah. So, the point is, if you look at any Shastra, the fundamental realizations of the Vedic system of yoga or the Rishis, so you can see the presence of those, you can apply those fundamental realizations into any realm of knowledge. So that's how getting into the Veda and the symbolic meanings of the words, the hardcore symbolism of the Veda and the different legends that we have, it helps us understanding the entire knowledge system. Puru means huge, large, loud.
Vastness. In Sanskrit, it is Virat.
It can be Virat, Bruhat, Vishal.
So, Satyam, Ritam, Virat.
Bruhat. We will talk about it in the afternoon session.
I was wondering one thing. I said, Adi. पहले होता था आदि है छोटा पहले आएगा आदि.
That is, but in the context of Vyadhi, it is Adi. Here Adi means it is getting settled in the somewhere throughout. The consciousness is, observing certain negative things. Is getting settled there, gathering there. And that accumulation of much negative things will manifest in a Vyadhi form. That's what is Adi.
So I understand when we have to correct something like this, like a disease or something, the right way is to then eventually go and remove that disturbance in the system.
Yes.
So the role of the medicine is very temporary in that case.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it has to be worked upon at the
Yes. The medicine just gives a relaxation that your painkiller doesn't make you feel pain. But it doesn't mean that the pain is not there. When the effect of the medicine gone, again you will find the pain. It doesn't kill the pain.
No, mental state is exaggerate or reduce pain.
Oh, yeah, true.
The pain is one is the physiological pain, the psychological pain. Other is the response to it. How do you respond to it? How do you respond to it will be affected
Yeah, true.
a lot.
That's why, Sri Aurobindo, when he got the fracture, he didn't take medicine. He applied, he converted the pain into Ananda. He converted the pain into Ananda. And it is through that he could get rid of the entire pain. Didn't feel the pain.
Is it what you call this cycle, positive cycle? It goes on more and more. Suppose I'm tense, I don't feel. I don't feel, I feel more tense. And like it becomes.
Yes.
Same for pain also.
Ramana Maharshi got operated without anesthetic.
True.
He kind of
Okay, so I will close with a few seconds of silence.